Let me know if you can hear me loud and clear, everyone. I have my little lavalier mic on. Good evening. Happy Tuesday. You may not get a Tuesday takeover, but you've been getting a lot of informal, impromptu lives, giving you your latest Diddy update. But as always, we'll give people a moment to get into the room and get the notifications out there. Let me just get all of the things there. Let me know where you're watching from, and let me know if this is your first time watching one of our lives, because we have quite a few new people that have joined. What's going on, everyone? And yes, I do have my coldest water bottle. Get yours today. Keep your water cold for 36 plus hours. Use the discount code Kempire10 for 10% off. Okay. I probably should have waited to make sure that you guys could hear me before I continued. I still haven't seen anyone say, yes, I hear you loud and clear. I know there's a little bit of a delay. What's going on, everyone? We are live. Can you see me? Can you see me? Okay, I hear you. Okay, there's a little bit of a delay, which is fine. There's a little bit of a delay. I'm really close up there. Good evening, everyone. Hey. Hope you guys are doing well. Hope you guys had a fantastic Tuesday. We have a few updates, and I might spill some tea because normally, look, I'm not trying to get into all the tea and all the exclusive information, but I felt like this information is quite juicy. And I'm still going to pry and see how much more information, because look, I think we are in for at least a year of Diddy, and all the stories coming out. If you missed it, I did do a video, 2 videos actually, Diddy related, earlier today, covering Tony Busby's story at his press conference. And I broke down for you in the different points that stood out to me in that press conference. Then I just dropped a video maybe a couple of hours ago, less than a couple of hours ago, about Wendy Williams breaking her silence. Some people are questioning if it's really Wendy Williams. I think it might be Wendy Williams. I truly believe that it's Wendy Williams, because although Wendy is under a guardianship, doesn't mean that she isn't in communication with her family. Doesn't mean that she doesn't have a team of people. I don't think this message is coming from the Guardian. Okay, but we'll get to that. We'll get to more of that. And if you guys are good, I will drop the call-in link for you to call in and share your thoughts in our informal live. Okay. But first, another video that I dropped today was about the Fugees. So I want to get into that first, because Lauryn Hill may be late for a show, but she's right on time for a response to Pras. Okay. So I want to get into that, and then we'll get into Wendy Williams, and then we'll get into the Diddy of it all, because there is an update, because Diddy's people are speaking out in regards to Tony Busby's press conference and the allegations that there are over 120 victims that they've confirmed. I'm hearing there's thousands. We'll get to it. But first, Ms. Hill went to her Instagram and responded, because as you know, earlier today we did a video letting you know that Pras Michelle, one of the founding members of the Fugees, is suing Lauryn Hill, accusing her of fraud, breach of contract. He lays it all out. He says that they were offered $5 million to do Coachella, but because Lauryn Hill is a narcissist, she decided to make the decision on her own, because they wanted to have No Doubt headline and not the Fugees. So she was like, I don't want to do it. This is according to him. I also let you guys know that Pras is also dealing with the fact that he was convicted on federal charges in the Southern District of New York. Speaking of Diddy, it all comes back to Diddy. It all comes back to the diddler. Okay? He was convicted, and he tried to have an appeal, saying that his counsel at the time did not represent him properly. Fine. The judge said, no, you're fine. So he still hasn't been sentenced yet, I don't believe. He's still out here free in the streets. If you missed that story, I give you more context in regards to that in the other video. I wanted to give you Lauryn Hill's response. Like I said, Lauryn Hill may be late, 4 hours late for the Nairobi, Kenya show. Shout out to Kenya. Let me know if you guys are watching from Kenya. So she was 4 hours late. The sound was terrible. It was like 3 a.m., 4 a.m. when the show started or ended. Can't remember. But she was on time for this response. The news came out today that Pras, her former band member, I'm saying former because they're not together anymore, is suing her for fraud, okay, and breach of contract, and along with a bunch of other things. So she posts on her social media, because you know she's never going to post a video. She posts in a black background with white writing. Some clarity and facts need to be presented, she says. I've been silent and pushing through because I understood that Pras was under duress because of his legal battles, and that this was perhaps affecting his judgment, state of mind, and character. Fun fact, number one. She broke it down. The facts, y'all, look. This baseless lawsuit by Pras is full of false claims and unwarranted attacks. It notably omits that he was advanced overpayment for the last tour and has failed to repay substantial loans extended by myself as an act of goodwill. Last year's tour was put together to celebrate the 25th anniversary of the album The Miseducation of Lauryn Hill. It was being planned whether the Fugees were involved or not. But was it selling, Lauryn? That would be my question, because you know I'm going to twerk on the fence. But was it, as it is, based off the rumors of you always being late, was the Miseducation 25th anniversary tour selling like that? Just saying. I think part of the reason why I got tickets last year was because I was like, well, I definitely love Lauryn, but I wasn't sure. I was like, should I get tickets? But the fact that they reunited, I was like, well, this might be a one in a lifetime chance. And honestly, it was, because at this particular point, these three are never going to tour again together. No word on what Pras feels about everything. Fact 2 from Miss Lauryn Hill. The tour was expanded to incorporate the Fugees because I found out that Pras was in trouble and would need money to aid his legal defense. You have to remember, this year, Pras was trying to get this recent trial. He wanted a new trial. Fact 3, Miss Lauryn Hill says, Pras was given a $3 million advance for the tour, which he said he required to pay his legal fees. Wyclef and myself deferred our full advances to make sure he had what he needed and was able to go. I covered most of the tour expenses as the majority of the tour advance had gone to Pras. An agreement was put in place to secure the repayment of the money he was advanced. Pras has not paid back the money he was advanced and is currently in breach of this agreement. Is she going to countersue? Is she going to countersue? I got to read the comments after this, y'all. So we're reading Lauryn Hill's response to Pras' lawsuit. Fact 4, Lauryn says, because my tour, band, production, and setup were already happening, the Fugees set utilized this same production. I can confirm, literally, there was no change in production when I went to go see Lauryn perform. It was her entire band performing the Fugees' music and production. I absorbed most of the expenses myself, produced the show, put together the entire set with Wyclef's participation for the Fugees and Wyclef's set, because Wyclef hasn't said anything. So I'm thinking he might be on Lauryn's side. The old boo thing. Pras basically just had to show up and perform. And that's exactly what it felt like when Pras was there. At one particular point during the Brooklyn show, they were looking for Pras. And we couldn't find Pras. We're like, where's Pras? And Pras didn't come out and do his own set either. Fact 5, Lauryn says. As of the last tour, Pras thanked me for, quote, saving his life. She says, I have receipts. Well, drop them then, Lauryn. Or maybe she's going to drop them in the lawsuit. Fact 6 from Lauryn Hill. I am not in the business of kicking anyone, especially when they're down, which is why I haven't responded to date. It is absolutely disheartening to see Pras in this position, my bandmate and someone I considered a friend, but this leads us to fact 7, which probably should have been fact 1. I mean, she's really reading him. Lauryn, you know what? Next time, this could have been reinvigorated your career, because Pras came out with a diss track about Lauryn. She should have came out with her own diss track here. Fact 1. Fact 2. And just rhymed it. That would have been. She really did come with the facts, Aisha. Hold on. I forgot to hit record on my thing here. I wanted to record this. All right. So we're going through the facts that Lauryn Hill is responding to Pras's lawsuit. So we're on fact 7. I was not in Pras's life when he decided to make the unfortunate decision that led to his current legal troubles. I did not advise that he make that decision, and therefore am in no way responsible for his decision and its consequences, though I have taken it upon myself to help. Despite his attacks, I am still compassionate and hope things work out for him. Respectfully, Miss Lauryn Hill. Squeaky says, am I going to save this live? Yes, this live will be here on YouTube for you guys to rewatch. So shout out to the replay crew. Don't forget to like the video. We're talking about Lauryn Hill's response to Pras. So she laid out 7 different facts in regards to this lawsuit. I'm wondering if she's going to counter sue. She has to respond to the lawsuit. I just find the comments really interesting. Because one person says, it's funny how the money changes situation, miscommunication lead to complication. Come on now. Lost Funds was a track, okay? It was a track. Zion Marley in the chat says, is it wrong to love thy enemies? I've only been backstabbed by friends of me. Trust must prevail. I have to say, if you saw my video earlier today, I was sort of like, I believe Pras. This is what I talk about twerking on a fence. But when she lays out the facts, I believe Lauryn. I believe Lauryn. Don't have me as the judge. Don't have me as the judge. Nasser says, I don't know who to believe. Honestly, the way that Lauryn laid it out, and here's the thing. I know Lauryn shows up late for shows. However, does that equate to her being a dishonest person? I know she was sued for allegedly stealing people's work on the Miseducation. However, and then she went to jail for tax evasion. Look. You are seeing my response live and in living color. But Pras is accused of some of the worst. Go look at that lawsuit. He's accused of being one of the first hip hop artists to work as a foreign agent for China. I don't know if he should be proud of that. Deborah says, you got us all twerking on the fence. I mean, his credibility based off what he has yet to serve jail time yet. But I don't know who to trust. But I will say, Lauryn, true Gemini, laid out all the facts. And she's got me going like, well, maybe. But here's the thing. You know who could clear things up? Whose side is Wyclef on? I know Pras is your cousin, Wyclef. But whose side is Wyclef on? That's who I want to hear from. Pras did not sue Wyclef. I mean, again, it really wasn't Wyclef's tour. But Wyclef did have a moment on the tour. Like, he had his own little set. So it makes me wonder. I just want to know, whoever Wyclef's side is on, I'm on that side. Wyclef's, I'm not in it. Okay? Samaya says, am I the only one that can hear the sound effects as Kempire is talking? I don't have my sound effect. I'm not in the studio. This is our informal live. All right. Wyclef says it's not called 911. Well, look, I don't know who to believe, but this will probably play out in a court of law. I don't see them settling. What I do know is Pras is in a predicament. He was earlier this year, in June of this year, trying to fight to have his trial determined a mistrial so that he could litigate this situation again. A judge told him no. So he's going to jail. And his money management, I can't go by that, because I think that's part of the reason why he's in the predicament that he's in, is because of him wanting more money and making bad decisions in the pursuit of getting more money. And now you're facing federal charges. I forgot how many years he's facing in prison. But these are some serious charges. That's why it's not worth it. If you can live comfortably, just live comfortably. It's not worth it to have every dollar in the world. Just saying. Just saying. Okay? Oh, Pras and Wyclef are Libras? Well, and I like Libras. Well, okay. Wendy Williams. Wendy Williams has spoken. I did a separate video a few hours ago letting you guys know that Wendy Williams has finally spoken on the Diddy of it all. Okay? She's finally spoken on the Diddy of it all. Everyone has been waiting to hear what she has to say, but they much rather hear her say it on her daytime talk show because she's been saying it for so long. Well, the Daily Mail got the exclusive today in regards to a statement. It's not a video. We have to remember, and one of the things I said in the last video in regards to this is that Wendy Williams has dementia. So for anyone that's dealt with a family member with dementia, there are moments where they have clarity, especially because she was only recently diagnosed. And if you watch the Where is Wendy Williams documentary, there were moments where she was clear and she was present. So I'm assuming that this is one of those moments where she was clear and she had something to say. Because I know a lot of people just assume that she's not in her right mind. She can't, she's not going to say anything right now. However, I'm sure she does have clear moments. From what I've heard exclusively from sources close to the family, is they are in communication with Wendy Williams right now. You remember during the documentary, they didn't know where she was. They do know where she is now. They can communicate with her. You saw recently that she was photographed with her son at Dr. Sebi's son's holistic place in Newark, New Jersey. So that was hopeful for a lot of people. As you also know, her guardian, she still has a guardian that's not her family member, that is fighting against A&E Networks in regards to the documentary. She's suing them, the guardian, on behalf of Wendy Williams, saying that Wendy was only paid $82,000 for the documentary. So she's now suing them for lifetime care. She wants A&E to pay for Wendy's lifetime care. I mean, I get you're trying to get more money from Wendy. I mean, from A&E, but why lifetime care? Where's Wendy's money? Where's Wendy's money? Because that's also been an accusation against Sabrina Morrissey, the guardian. Mary says the guardian's living her best life. Lord have mercy. So the Daily Mail got an exclusive statement from Wendy. All right. Wendy Williams has spoken out in the wake of Sean Diddy Combs' arrest, claiming it was about time the disgraced rapper was investigated. All right. Wendy Williams, 60 years old, had always been openly critical of the disgraced music mogul throughout her career, so unsurprisingly relieved to learn that he is being investigated. Wendy said exclusively to the Daily Mail, which is interesting because if you remember the whole exposing of Wendy's ex-husband, Kelvin, it was the Daily Mail that exposed him. But she's also, she's a gossip. So she's okay with other gossips. I'm sure she wasn't happy about it, but here we are. So Wendy said this to the Daily Mail. What is really weird is that I have been told by so many people, Wendy, you called it, including some people from my family who have said the same. The popular TV host who said that she was doing good in the wake of her aphasia diagnosis and health concerns said that she was horrified at the video of Combs abusing his then girlfriend, Cassie Ventura, in a hotel lobby. She says, you know how I feel about that? It's about time. To see this video on TV of Cassie being pummeled, it was just horrific. But now you have to think, how many more times, how many people, how many more women? It's just so horrible. Here's the bad part about Wendy getting dementia. I know that Wendy knew a lot more about Diddy that she never shared. She said a lot, but there was a lot that she didn't say. But now that she's sort of doesn't have all of her memories, Some of that stuff is lost, which leads me to the speculation that if you saw my video on this, my speculation on was this intentional? People knew she had her addiction issues over the years. Was this intentional? Putting her in places where it would test her addiction, because she knew a lot. She had a lot of sources, to the point where people are now saying Wendy was right. I don't know if you were a Wendy Nista, you never really didn't think that she wasn't right, right? Look, right? So Wendy Williams has spoken exclusively to the Daily Mail, and when she says, but now you have to think, how many more times? How many people? Today, it was revealed that Tony Busby is representing 120 victims. He said he received thousands of calls in regards to possible victims. So far, they've only been able to corroborate 120. It won't be a class action. They're going to be filing individual civil lawsuits against Diddy. He is more than open to working with the SDNY and collaborating in regards to some of these allegations, which include one story where a 9-year-old boy went to Bad Boy Records for a record deal and was competing against other young boys and was subjected to Diddy's, oh gosh, you can fill in the blank. You fill in the blank. So that is the major headline that people are running with. But I did a separate video giving you point by point some of the things that stood out to me during Tony Busby's press conference. I will give him credit. Unlike Gloria Allred, and this is no shade to her, I felt like he wanted to use this press conference not just to be a spectacle, but he had actual SA advocates, victim advocates, speak out during this press conference. I thought that was superb, and he only answered 1 or 2 questions. I appreciated that. I definitely appreciated that. But for those that may have missed it, mods, if we can post links in the description in regards to the video that we did earlier breaking down Tony Busby's press conference. But when Wendy Williams says, okay, my elephant brain's working. I went right back. When she says, how many more? How many more? Well, you know, I've been hearing from people that based off what people are hearing at the Southern District of New York, I don't know if it's necessarily in the Southern District of New York, but it's in those circles, that these victims could be in the thousands. And although they're focused, Tony Busby pointed out in the press conference, he focused on New York, California, and Miami. However, they're not focusing, at least Tony Busby's not focusing, on different parts of America that statute of limitations it's passed. This is from what I'm hearing. Those are the areas that they should really be looking in. But this is why it's important. This is why the Southern District of New York came out and said, if you have been a victim, come forward. This case is still ongoing. They are still investigating. Yes, thousands. According to a source that I spoke to, they're saying more than likely thousands. But when you think about a 30-year Diddy just doing all kinds of stuff, 30 years. In Tony Busby's investigation, he revealed that a lot of these people were given a horse tranquilizer, basically debilitating them. And this is why they ended up being just abused in every which way. And his victims, like I said before, male, female, at the time of the incidents, some were minors. 25 of the 120 that he's representing, he said, were minors at the time of the incident. So, like I said, from what I'm hearing, there could possibly be a lot more victims. A lot more victims coming forward. And what I'm hearing, although the SDNY hasn't spoken out about it, they are looking into some of these conspiracy theories that are out there. And some of these conspiracy theories aren't necessarily conspiracy theories. And you know I'm not conspiracy. Well, I don't mind a conspiracy theory, but what I bring to you is never usually conspiracy, unless I tell you this is conspiracy. I don't know. And is Diddy going through withdrawal in prison? Not prison, jail. Is he going through withdrawal and talking a little too much? That's another thing I heard. I heard he is in jail, going through all of the withdrawal things because, again, we didn't know that he was an addict based off of these allegedly. I'll say allegedly. Word on the street, he's in there going through whatever he's going through and speaking, saying things. You saw what Tony Busby said, right? In regards to corporations, powerful people. You saw what one of the accuser's attorneys said over the weekend about a higher profile person being on videotape. These videotapes are being shopped around. So what I'm hearing, Diddy is talking, but it's sort of like rambling because he's going through withdrawal. So God only knows what he's saying. God only knows what he's saying. Allegedly. As you also know, Diddy this week has formed a new dream team, according to TMZ, of additional lawyers to his team because he's seeking a third bail attempt. He's trying to get out of there. I don't think that's going to work. Diddy's attorneys are responding to Tony Busby's press conference from earlier today. That is the latest update. We didn't get a chance to mention that to you. But this was the update that one of Diddy's attorneys, Erica Wolf, tells TMZ this. This is a quote. As Mr. Cohn's legal team has emphasized, he cannot address every meritless allegation in what has become a reckless media circus. That said, Mr. Cohn's emphatically and categorically denies as false and defamatory any claim that he SA'd anyone, including minors. He looks forward to proving his innocence and vindicating himself in court where the truth will be established based on evidence, not speculation. That is a statement from one of Diddy's many attorneys at this particular point. If you missed it, I did a separate video over the weekend telling you a little bit about his attorney that's been on a press tour. And I tell you some of the other people that he's represented. And shout out to you. Some of you have been in my DMs letting me know there was a season 2 of The Vow. And you see Diddy's attorney in The Vow season 2. And you get a better picture as this man loves the limelight. He loves cases like this. But he doesn't win cases like this. Keith Raniere is rotting in jail. Tommy Manzo is rotting in jail. Martin Shkreli got out, but he was in jail. Currently, Diddy is in jail. All right. If you're a member of the channel, I'm going to drop the call-in link for you guys on the community tab here on YouTube. If you're part of the replay crew, don't forget to like the video. Don't forget to share the video. When I get a chance, I am going to upload the audio of this, or at least a portion of this, on the Kempire podcast. If you're not subscribed, subscribe. I know some of you love taking some of our live shows, but also additional episodes that we post on the podcast on the go by the podcast. So while you're there, don't forget to give us a 5-star rating. Let me drop the call-in link for you guys first. All right. So Team Kempire, Royal Court members, and Senior Royals, I've just dropped the link so you guys can call in and share your thoughts. Hopefully you guys will be able to hear it here on YouTube. Thank you so much, guys, for the love. We got over 1,200 people in the building. I appreciate it. Don't forget to like the video. Janae, thank you so much for the super chat. Janae says, can you imagine not even knowing Diddy was recording you having and your tape is going around the industry, yikes, that is that violation is deep. Yeah, so that's the other thing, is that these videos are now apparently circulating for sale in, I would say, the dark web. I don't know if it really falls under dark web, but it's in that arena. Okay? So, word on the street, Diddy's talking. That's the word on the street. I don't know how much he's talking. I don't know what exactly he could be saying other than mentioning names of other people that might be involved, allegedly. I'm going to try and find out more, but with sources, you sort of have to placate them a little bit. Like, okay, because they can't tell you too much, because then it'll get tied back to, how did this person know this? You knew this. You were the only person that knew this. But I'm trying. What about, also, I don't want to know too much, because this case involves a lot of powerful people. And there have been people, allegedly, that have lost their lives because of stuff like this. So, I like my life. So I will cover, I will cover what I can cover. But this fell in my lap earlier today, and I said, okay, when I go live tonight, I'll talk a little bit about what I'm hearing, allegedly. But again, we had 2 other videos today talking about Wendy Williams breaking her silence on Diddy's arrest, but also we gave you an update in regards to the press conference that Tony Busby held earlier today. That was quite interesting. I wasn't sure, because a lot of these press conferences with attorneys sometimes can be just a spectacle. I have to give him credit. It didn't feel like a spectacle. It didn't feel like a spectacle. Guys, once we get to 400 likes, I will drop the call-in link in the live chat here for you guys to call in as well. Members, I have dropped the call-in link for you on the community tab. We have a couple of people backstage already. Hold on. Ooh, LA says, how about the clout chasers that will act like they know anything, aka Jaguar White, aka Jaguar Wrong? I don't know if I... Come on. We can't really necessarily say that Jaguar was just a clout chaser and wrong, because there have been some things that have come to fruition in regards to what Jaguar was saying. Do I think that there is a little bit, we've talked about this before, that there are some people that know a lot, but they're also putting sauce on stuff just to get people interested, to get the likes, to make the money. Because interest, fame, no matter what route it is, can be intoxicating. Can be intoxicating. All right. Chris says Jaguar Wrong is way funnier than it should be. I know. I'm surprised no one else has said it. Thank you for coming through and giving us a little bit of a key. Shout out to our mods in the chat, guys. Don't forget to say hello to the mods and give them love. Talking about these heavy topics can be very difficult. Sidebar, have you guys been watching the vice presidential debate? I watched a little bit of it. Then I started watching Real Housewives of New York. I'm going to recap it tomorrow. But what I watched, I was like, But we'll talk more about that tomorrow. All right. Who subscribed to my podcast? Let me know. I'm going to see if we have any of our... Oh, we have a few members backstage. All right. Live chat, we're almost at 400 likes. Once we get to 400 likes, I'm going to drop the call link for you guys to call in and share as well. I'm hoping you guys will be able to hear all the callers, because the way that I'm doing this is a little different than usual. But I thought, why not have a little bit of calls? Anuli, I know you're subscribed. Judy, I know you're subscribed. Wait. Oh, hold on. Nelita. Exactly. Don't forget to vote. Go check your voter registration, people. Vote.org. It's very quick and easy. Do it now. I'll give you a second. T Talk with the Shah says the debate isn't good. I know. I was watching. I was like, Maybe we're just not used to not being entertained by the foolishness. I don't know. Okay. All right. I'm going to drop the call link now for the live chat. Keep liking the video if you haven't already, guys. We're going to bring up some callers. V says, is this our new meeting time, Kempire? Oh, no, I cannot. Once I get a boost bang, no. Look, no. All right, let me bring up Janelle. I was like, wait, what's your name? I was going to say bonjour. Let me bring up bonjour. Bonjour, what's going on?
Bonjour, Kempire.
You're a mess. What's going on?
How are you?
I'm well. How are you? Do you want to spill some tea?
Good. I felt like you were going live, and I needed a break. I needed a break from the debates.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna say that if my side is not telling you volumes, then I don't know what to tell you. Anyways, I really came on here to say I messaged you about this earlier,
Yes.
but I truly believe that you're about to have your Emily D. Baker moment. Okay? If anybody remembers, and I'm speaking it into existence for you, because if you haven't, I'll do it for you. Bonjour, amen. Okay? Okay? So if people are not aware of what I'm talking about, Emily D. Baker, she is a prosecutor.
Former prosecutor.
Former prosecutor. She was a former prosecutor in California, and then she moved to Tennessee with her family. And she has a great legal channel on YouTube and the podcast and all that jazz. So during the Johnny Depp / Amber Heard trial, which was I think 2 years ago, she was covering it and basically breaking down all the legalese for us non-lawyer folks. Because trust and believe, I was not understanding what was going on,
Yes.
And she broke it down wonderfully. And she just like. And she started getting interviewed by all the different networks, and now she has blown up. And I was telling Kempire earlier today, I said this is gonna be your Emily D. Baker moment because we don't have our Wendy, and we need somebody to break this mess down. Okay.
And I am possibly hoping. Well, first of all, I hope that Stephanie St. Alban has her Emily D. Baker moment because we've had her here on the channel helping us break down some of this legal stuff as well. But I'm also hoping to bring Emily back here on the channel so we can talk a little bit about this and some other legal stuff.
Yes, and also I'm so glad that you're collaborating with Stephanie. I've been following her Wine and Chill channel for years because I was so happy when I saw both y'all in the videos. I was like, yes! My favorite channels are together like a married couple. Say what?
And I feel like I need to have her back because I have so many more questions.
Yes, and so I'm so happy. That's all I really want to come on here and say was just like I'm speaking it into existence for you because good people deserve good juju. You know what I'm saying? Amen. Bonjour.
Thank you. Did you want to?
I want to say I'm gonna let other callers.
Wait. Did you want to weigh in on a little bit about Diddy's attorney at all?
Okay. Wait, did you? Okay, so did you talk about who he used to?
Yes.
Who he
did? A little bit, but you can elaborate what I said.
So I watched. If anybody has seen The Vow on HBO Max, I have watched that show multiple times. I first watched it for script research purposes, and then I kind of fell in love with it because it's bonkers. Okay,
it really
bonkers.
Is. It also involves minors as well, y'all.
Yeah, it is. Oh God, like minors from another country that literally where he took a. Okay, so gosh, there's so much. There was this cult in upstate New York, Albany to be exact, called Nexium. It basically said it was like a self-help enlightenment type group or whatever. And this man was literally trafficking women. He was sleeping with women and telling them, and because he claimed to be this guru, this like all holy thing, whatever. And so when if y'all have ever drank what is that ginger ale, Seagram's?
Yes. Oh yes.
The heir to the Seagram's empire was one of his cult members.
And think about the money. Think about the money that's connected to that.
Yes. So, because on tax returns, he claimed that he didn't have any money. He claimed that he didn't have a salary, and his followers confirmed, like, yes, he doesn't take any money. He wears used clothing. No, boo boo kitty. They were hiding the money elsewhere. Okay. All right. Like, how you gonna buy a bunch of houses in Albany? Now, I'm not saying Albany's the most expensive place, but everyone knows that in New York State, taxes are hard. So it's like, where are you getting all this money to buy all these houses for your followers to stay in? Because he was literally finding these rich people to support him, like one of the heirs to the Seagram's fortune. Okay. And so basically, his name was Keith Raniere. All right. So basically,
he's currently in prison.
And he's currently in prison for life. I think he also got tried for racketeering, for sex trafficking,
They're very similar charges to Diddy, besides the minors.
Very similar. His lawyer was Diddy's lawyer. So if you ever have watched the second season of The Vow, they unpacked Nancy Salzman, who was the co-conspirator in the NXIVM cult. But they also interviewed the lawyer who was representing Keith Raniere. And that is the same lawyer. I cannot say his last name.
And I always mess it up. It's Mark Aganafilo or Philo?
Yeah. Everything that Kempire has said about this man is 1000% true about his demeanor. When I tell you he loves the spotlight, the fact that he is literally gloating in season 2 of The Vow about being interviewed and talking about this case, he takes pride into when all the chips are against, or is that, I forget the colloquialism. Anyway, when everything is against his client, he takes joy in finding those loopholes to get them off.
But he doesn't win.
But the thing is, he has won in smaller cases, but in these larger cases, no, he has not won. But see, the thing is, in the documentary, they don't push him on the cases he has lost.
Oh, which is quite a few.
Yes. But he talks about how, that he is notorious for getting his clients off. He says that in lamest terms. I highly recommend anyone who wants to know who this man is. I forget what specific episodes of season 2 of The Vow that he is.
I didn't know there was a season 2.
But it's season 2. He's not in season 1 because season 1 Keith Raniere has not been arrested yet in season 1. He doesn't get arrested until the very end of that season. Season 2 is about his trial and Nancy Salzman. And so I highly recommend for anybody who really wants to know who this man is and who Diddy has hired to defend him, go watch season 2 of The Vow, because it will unpack a lot for you of who this man is. It is not surprising that he was on that TMZ documentary on Tubi. Okay,
I was too. Shut up. Huh? I was like, I was too. The part 1.
I was like, he was. Oh, well, you're different.
I didn't know I was. I wasn't paid. TMZ.
You weren't paid, no, so you're not trying to defend the diddler.
No.
No. So this man, he is hired to defend the people who are indefensible. That's the way I like to classify it. And so when you and Stephanie were talking about the lawyer the other day on one of your lives, I was like, why does he look so good? It was bugging me. I was like, I know this guy. And I was working from home on Monday and I was like, what is it? And then I literally started flipping through HBO Max and boom, The Vow. And I was like, ding, 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 ding. That's where I know him from.
Well, if you had watched the video that I did breaking down, well, I posted it on Sunday, so I understand.
Okay,
I do mention that he is Keith Raniere's former attorney. So, but yeah.
I had not seen it. Yeah, sometimes I'm busy.
And I know I put out a lot of videos.
I watch every video you do, honey.
I know. But I appreciate you calling in and sharing that perspective. For those that wanted to know why we were talking about this other case, it's first of all, that other case, Keith Raniere, is very similar to Diddy's case, especially after today's findings with minors. But also the attorney that represented Keith Raniere is the same attorney that's representing Diddy. But TMZ did reveal this week that Diddy has now has gotten additional attorneys that will be helping him with this new bail hearing that he was trying to get bail for a third time. Okay.
Also, I did a tarot card reading about Diddy.
Mm-hmm. You personally did one?
Huh?
You personally pulled cards?
I personally pulled cards.
Oh.
And when now for me, I usually get a physical reaction to cards sometimes. Mm-hmm. And my head started hurting tremendously. And I was like, and usually when my head is hurting, it's like, okay, what are the spirits trying to tell me? I feel like it was his ego, the enormous size of his ego was weighing down on me when I was pulling cards. And what I was seeing is that he truly thinks he's going to get one over this. I think he is going to be able to find a few loopholes, but he's still going to jail. Do I think he's going to get tried on everything? Personally, I hope so. Mm-hmm. But based on the cards I pulled, he's not. But he's still going to jail for a very long time. He is not escaping this.
Yeah.
And so, but that's what I pulled. I mean, I'm not a soothsayer. I'm not Kempire.
Well,
Okay.
she did a card reading on him as well, and she ended up feeling very terrible after it. So, all right, let me get to the other calls, but I do appreciate you calling in.
I'm so sorry for taking
No,
time.
it's okay. It's all right. Thank you so much for calling in. Have a good night.
You too. Have a good night. Bye.
Bye. All right, Miss Tina's backstage. Guys, I did drop the calling link for those that wanted to call in and share their thoughts on any of the hot topics that we talked about. We talked about Miss Lauryn Hill responding to Pras Michelle's lawsuit against her. We talked about Wendy Williams breaking her silence on the diddler of it all. And we also talked about Diddy's attorney coming out with a statement in regards to the Tony Busby press conference. And I also dropped a little tea as well, in case you missed it. All right. All right. Let me bring up Miss Tina. Miss Tina, what did you want to say?
Hey, Kempire, how are you?
I'm well. How are you?
It's Libra season. Yay!
Are you a Libra?
Yes, my birthday is the 15th.
Well, happy early birthday.
Oh, thank you, thank you. I love the segment with you and Stephanie because I like the legalese of it all when you're breaking down the case, because this does get kind of legally heavy when they start talking all this legalese. So I love that segment. So if you guys could keep that up, as long as you can, let us know what's really going on.
And I appreciate it too, because I don't like getting into anything. I end up having a lot of questions, so I'd much rather get those questions answered, especially because I know you guys
did an excellent job this weekend.
Thank you.
Excellent. That could be a segment.
Yes.
And also, there was an attorney on Sherry Shepherd, and I was laughing. I said, she is telling people, you better shut your mouth before you be a defendant in the case. And she said, you guys out here running your mouth. I saw this, I saw that. She said, that could be a subpoena. So I cracked up when I saw that. She said, shut your mouth. And the cult, I did watch that Nexum thing, the cult thing.
Yeah, the vow.
But isn't it really scary to me in this country that this cult mentality is almost taking over in this country? And it just exposes how mental illness is so pervasive in this country. It's just sad.
Yeah.
And it's scary how people are so manipulated into getting into this cult mentality, just like, the other person we're not going to talk about that's running for a specific office, and they can't see the forest from the trees. I mean, blatant liar does this, and oh no, he didn't do, and I'll go, oh my God. I know, and I did not watch the presidential debate because I didn't want my blood pressure up. I didn't watch tonight because I didn't want my blood pressure up.
I think we all needed a little bit of a break.
It's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now let's see, I live in Tennessee, so we're close to Asheville.
Yeah.
And the people that are suffering, people they can't find people, and to come out and say that the president isn't sending them aid. I'm going like, oh my God. Well, he said it, and I said, oh my God. So we just we have to pray for this country because it's scary.
Yeah.
But as far as the diddler, I keep telling you, it's got the Epstein feel for me.
I mean, the allegations are very similar.
If he's in there running his mouth, I don't know.
That's the word on the street.
For a long time, if they don't have him in protected custody, that's all I'm saying.
All right, Miss Tina, I appreciate you calling in.
All right, bye-bye.
Take care. All right. I did see my old barber, which y'all could tell I don't really need anymore. Johnny, what's going on? Also a fellow Taurus. All right, we're going to get to some more callers, guys. We are talking a late night chat. I would say a fireside chat, but no, I'm not trying to set a fire. Well, I do have my candle burning. Okay. All right, Hayat is backstage. We're going to bring Hayat up again for the very first time in our impromptu, informal lives. This is not like our lives when I'm in the studio. I'm taking callers. So I hope you guys can hear them. If you can't, sorry. Okay, but no one's complaining that they can't. Let me bring a Hayat. Hayat, what's going on?
Hi, Kempire, can you hear me?
Oh, you're going to have to be a little bit louder so everyone can hear you.
How about now?
That's better.
Okay, Kempire, I was washing my dishes and this live pops up. I was so excited. I didn't know you were going to be taking callers this late. And honestly, I'm so happy that I stayed up past my bedtime for once. So great. But I just really wanted to quickly not stay on this line too much because I know you probably have a lot of callers. I wanted to thank you. And I want to thank Fine and Chill as well, who I love following.
Stephanie.
You've been doing a phenomenal job breaking down this Diddy mess. And I really think you should truly think about like a career in this further, going after these legal cases. Because even with just your question, Kempire, it's just phenomenal. You put it together so well. I feel like I made this case better because of you. And I'm one of those people that read regularly newspaper postings and everything. So just really wanted to say that.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
And really quickly on the Diddy situation, it's actually so terrifying that it was a lot of this stuff was kind of in plain sight, his behavior, everything, and the fact that regularly were ignoring it. When I say we, I mean, you know, everybody in the world was ignoring the fact that this guy, there was something wrong. And then just lets me feel like this is going to be a never-ending charade of us having to deal with people that we always kind of had a funny eye on, but never dealt with them sufficiently before they could actually create victims. And really quickly, I think it's interesting. I don't know if you read Ta-Nehisi's Coates' new book. Have you heard of the new book?
No.
The Message?
No.
It's so good. It doesn't necessarily have to do with this, but what I bring it up for is that it kind of talks a little bit about what's going on in Israel and Palestine and other situations as well. And it kind of talks about the fact that we create, like, victims tend to victimize down the road because of this idea of humiliation, that we don't know how to fight the humiliation. And it really scares me that it's just like a never-ending cycle. But anyways, thank you so much. You're doing a phenomenal job.
No, thank you so much for bringing that up. Take care. Have a good night.
You too.
Bye. I think that's so interesting. I mean, that is, I mean, the psychology major in me like finds that stuff fascinating. But when you think about the Usher aspect of this situation, you know, the allegations that Usher possibly could have been a victim of Diddy and then subsequently allegedly perpetuated that onto Justin Bieber. Oof. All right. Guys, if you're just joining us, we are giving you another Diddy update. I didn't plan for it, but here we are. If you haven't already, be sure to like the video. We have a couple of more callers. I'm going to take a few more callers, and then I'm going to call it at night because I got to wash off the Diddy of it all. This is my third video on Diddy today. This is it's only Tuesday. This is like my 8th video on Diddy this week. All right. Nasra's backstage. We're going to bring her up next. Let's go to Nasra. How are you?
Hi, Kempire. Can you hear me?
Oh, yeah. Perfectly. Clearly.
Oh, perfect. I just want to say, love your show. I'm also going on this little deep dive of Did Lauryn. I need to, get out of it. But I did want to share that I watched the Tony Busby conference, and this is the first time I really just sat in and I thought, it's interesting how everyone, I've noticed online, not everyone, but a good portion of people are blaming victims, asking why they were there or what happened. I think we need to pull back from that. And that's one thing I liked about the conference, that how he laid it out, how he broke down the percentages of what races were involved, who were the victims, the ages. I think he made it more of a human experience. And we have to ask ourselves as a society, how did we allow this to happen?
In plain sight.
Right?
Yeah.
And and especially this narrative I've been seeing, I don't know if you've been seeing this, Kempire, as well, about this taking down a Black man.
Yeah.
And as a Black person, 60% of the victims are Black.
Yep.
And why are we not holding anyone accountable for victimizing people?
Yep.
That was one of my main concerns. And this whole he's going to sing like a canary, to tell what? He's going away for a long time.
No. Yeah.
Even if he sings like a canary, even if he tells on the next person or the other victim, or who else was doing this vicious cycle like the previous caller stated, it's not going to make a difference. We have to focus on breaking the cycle and protecting victims.
Most definitely. And I think we need to also understand that cycle. And I think a lot of us, because some of us are victims and have been through trauma and haven't probably dealt with that trauma and now we are perpetuating that same sort of negativity that you say to yourself onto other victims.
Absolutely. And we have to stop. And a lot of these men that have been going online and quick to defend Diddy, we have to stop this. Like, at the end of the day, it says a lot about our society, how we treat the vulnerable, how we treat women, children, the elderly. It's a reflection of us.
Yeah.
And when something is wrong, we have to say it's wrong. We have to stop obsessing with fame, money. We're losing the plot here as a society, is my deep down feeling of this.
No, definitely. Definitely. Nasser, thank you so much for calling in.
Oh, thank you, Kempire.
Have a good night.
You too.
Bye. We have the best community, and some of we are like-minded in a way, but we also have very different opinions. You guys call me out when you don't agree with me, and you know, being a Taurus, I don't listen. No, I listen. Do I agree? No. But if you're just joining us, we are doing one of our impromptu, informal lives. We will have a formal live tomorrow, recapping the Real Housewives of New York at 12:30 p.m. Eastern, 9:30 a.m. PST. I will rewatch it tomorrow. I started watching it. It wasn't great, but I will give it a chance. Let me get to some of the other callers so that I can go to bed. V's backstage. V, what is going on? Welcome to our late night chat.
No, Kempire, you know, I'm usually in bed by now, but I've been recovering from surgery.
Oh.
So you have been keeping me entertained.
Are you okay?
I am. I had carpal tunnel surgery. And then I got to have surgery on the other hand, like in 6 months. But I was calling to say, like, you have been doing a phenomenal job. I appreciate it. You've been keeping me up to date because with the meds and stuff, I've been in and out. But you've been like my 6 a.m. news. And I'm like, as soon as I get up, I'm like, what's going on? What's going on? But so hats off to you. But I was gonna say, as far as the victims, being that I have been one, not to the extreme that they are, it was more of a touching situation, and I was an adult. But it was like drinking involved, and you know, I'm in the military, so you know how that goes. I won't elaborate too much, but I reported mine immediately. So I feel like it doesn't matter if you report it then, now, or whenever. Like, they're gonna find a way to victim shame you. Well, what did you do? What did you say? Or well, how did that happen? How did you put yourself in that situation? You know, things of that nature. And the other thing that they don't think about, and I was at a work event, the families of the victims. So it took a toll on like my mom, my husband, my children. Like, it was a lot that I had to go through, and then that affected them as well. You know what I mean? So it's not just the victims, but their families as well go through it with them. So I think people should be considerate of that as well, because she has children. Like Cassie has children, she has a husband. I don't really know a lot about the other victims, but I'm pretty sure they have family that is like concerned for their well-being, etc. You know?
Yeah.
So that was my little take. And then last night, between me and my husband, we've been like following this like crazy. We watched the Impact Nightline on Hulu, the Diddy drugs, lies, and freak offs or whatever.
Yeah.
That dropped I don't know if you've seen it, but that's another one where they kind of like summed up all the stuff that was going on too. And then 50 Cent is coming out with a documentary. I don't know if you know that one.
On Netflix.
I've been in and out. Yeah, so I don't know if you had talked about it. I could have been in and out. But yeah, so it's just a lot that's coming out, and it's like going to be a lot that takes. So I do say, like, when you say you have to wash it off or whatever, like, please take care of your mental health, because you don't know how, even though it didn't happen to you, you can have secondhand, like, you know, feelings from it or whatever. So just make sure you're taking care of yourself mentally, emotionally, spiritually.
Thank you, V. Feel better.
You have a blessed night. Thank you so much.
Take care.
All right. Bye-bye.
For the person that said I have a leak, no, I have concrete ceilings. So it's not a leak, right? No, it's concrete ceilings. Okay. And look, I was trying to go for that, you know, I'm in my bachelor pad era. Okay. All right. We got Bonji's backstage. We're going to bring Bonji up next. Bonji, what's going on?
Hey, Kempire, how are you?
I'm well. How are you?
Doing good. Two things. The last caller took the words out of my mouth. I had to take a break this weekend from all the news, because it's like whiplash. You hear one thing, you go searching and researching, and then you find something else is breaking.
Yeah.
And I'm a survivor from being a teenager, and blaming the victim, sadly, is something that we don't seem to have learned from the Me Too era or other abuse cases that we've seen in the past.
Yeah.
His lawyer bringing up the race card is one of the most deplorable things that him as a lawyer could have done. Also, okay, you're going to bring up race. How do you then look at the video that the whole world saw of what he did to Cassie through that lens and think that is okay? And unfortunately, I think some of our most prominent people in the entertainment industry and Hollywood, some of the names that are going to come out, I think are not only going to shock us, but will bring us, I think, to reality on how depraved and how deep all this seems to go.
Yeah, definitely. Bonji, thank you so much for calling in.
Thanks. Keep up the hard work.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Good night.
Guys, if you're just joining us, we are taking a little bit of a fireside chat talking about another Diddy update. If you missed it and you're part of the replay crew, be sure to let us know your thoughts and perspectives on all the stories that we covered. And don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to like the video. Those things are very important because what will happen is, especially when we have these calls sharing their personal thoughts and perspectives, it might touch someone that probably didn't know of this channel before because you guys like the video. Because we're talking about a very popular story, this video will find someone else. So every day people are finding our channel. If you're new to the channel, please share it in the chat. We'd love to see that. Our last caller of the night will be Travana. We're going to bring Travana up to share their perspective. Travana, what did you want to say?
Hey, can you hear me?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Hey, Kempire.
Hey.
I just wanted to have the same sentiments a lot of the other callers had with thank you for covering this. Also being very intentional as well too, and like really giving everybody the information they need. I'm sorry, I was walking my dog. Sorry if I'm out of breath. But I think one thing I wanted to add in this conversation is when we're talking about the harm that Diddy is doing, we can't be causing harm by making jokes, especially when it comes to incarceration. And as someone who is a community organizer, I work with young people who, instead of like caging young people, we have an arts-based healing organization. And it really does have a lot of great impact on seeing people fully instead of just seeing them as mistakes and casting them away. I know what Diddy has done is deplorable, but when people make jokes about folks being incarcerated, and there are a lot of innocent folks that are on the inside, a lot of people who are stripped away from their communities, away from their families, away from their loved ones, away from their children. And I honestly do a lot of organizing with folks who are currently incarcerated, who are trying to change their lives around, who have been given life sentences, who have already accepted what they're doing, but really trying to make an impact with the young people. So I think when we are going to be talking about the harm Diddy is doing, please, we have to also consider not making jokes and making light about like what he might be eating in jail, what are the conditions. And I thought it was kind of honestly disgusting when they want to keep bringing up the conditions of the jail when we literally have Black men picking cotton in Angola and Louisiana. So this is actually a serious issue when we actually have a lot of folks who do a lot of the services on our roads in Washington State, in California, who are prisoners. So we just got to just be kind when we're talking about it, but I definitely do not condone anything that he's done. He's very, very disgusting. But I just want to thank you and Stephanie for covering, this and really giving a lot of folks the information they need.
Definitely. Travana, thank you so much for sharing that perspective. We appreciate it.
Thank you. Have a good one.
You too.
Thanks.
We really do have a great audience in regards to different perspectives. I love that Travana brought that aspect up as well. And I look forward to reading all of your comments from the replay crew. Last minute questions in the live chat. Last minute questions. Again, I will give kudos to Tony Busby. Yes, he's sued, Travis Scott before, Chris Brown. I know a lot of people don't have a lot of respect for different attorneys, but I definitely had a lot of respect for how he handled today's press conference. I thought it was done very well. For those that are just joining us, one of Diddy's attorneys did release a statement saying, as Mr. Combs' legal team has emphasized, he cannot address every meritless allegation and what has become a reckless media circus. That said, Mr. Combs emphatically and categorically denies as false and defamatory any claim that he essayed anyone, including minors. He looks forward to proving his innocence and vindicating himself in court, where the truth will be established based on evidence, not speculation. Oh, it's 11/11. Make a wish. Make a wish. And no, I didn't have anyone in my room. One of my Google thingies went off. I don't know if I even said anything. All my little things are going off. I'm like, stop. Anyways, his legal team needs to shut up and handle this in court. Agreed, but of course, they're being reached out by multiple media outlets, so they have to release some sort of response. I guess. National says, I love that we are nosy. Please understand, if I had someone here, I would not be on here. I prioritize people in my life. I appreciate all you being here when I go live, but if I was entertaining, I'd be entertaining and not working. Unless it was breaking news. Unless it was some breaking news, then I would be. Okay. Let me see. Any last minute questions, guys? Last minute questions? Wait, Kempire, they are on your ceiling and the voice is being heard. Right? They're everywhere. They're like, this is why I'm gonna go back in the studio. And y'all not gonna see or hear anything besides a white wall, okay? Damn nosy. All up in the ceiling. But I think that ceiling comment was more of concern. Because even I was like, wait, what? And I was like, oh, wait, no, that's how it is. Oh, Lord. Can we get to 600 likes and then I'm going to bed? Let's get to 600 likes and then I'm going to bed. I mean, we have over 1,000 people watching. I mean, come on now. But come on now. All right. Yes, shout out to our King's Guards, guys. Don't forget to say thank you to our King's Guards for holding us down. They didn't know I was going live. Where did I get this shirt? I think this was Armani Exchange. Yeah, Armani Exchange. I got this shirt. But this was like, I don't know how many seasons ago. Stephanie says, I'm loving the late night lives. Don't get used to them. Look, don't get used to them. Joanne says, Kempire, you're becoming quite the night owl. I'm not. It's still early. It's 11 o'clock. I'm going to take my shower and go to bed. Right. Because I need to watch Real Housewives of New York tomorrow again and do our recap. So stay tuned for that. I will see you all for that. Thank you so much for over 600 likes. Thank you to our King's Guards. Thank you to our channel members. We appreciate you guys for supporting the channel. Some of you have been members for like 3+ years. Thank you. Become a member today at teamkempire.com/join. I think tomorrow what I will do is a separate live just for members. Very much like this one, just for members. So become a member today. Members, we haven't done one, I don't think, last month. So I got to make up to you guys. So we'll spill all the tea there. Okay. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for being here. I hope you guys have a good night. Bye, everyone. Bam, 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 bam. Iris says, Kempire, I waited for your videos to come out. I didn't even watch the news. I went right to you. Well, thank you. Well, thank you. But it's a weeknight. Past my bedtime. Night Kempire night, everyone. Yes, past your bed. Go to bed. Go to bed. Yes, John Amos passed away. He was 84 years old. You know he passed away August 21st, though? It's October 1st. How did we not know until now? That's interesting. That's suspicious. Okay. Sorry, I had to. I also got my flu shot. Look, I also got my flu shot. My flu shot and my COVID booster. My arm. Damn. Exactly. May he rest in peace. There are a lot of people that passed away this week. Some people that you may or may not know. Deborah says, it's 8:15 here. Lucky you, Deborah. We're not on the West Coast. What? What was that question? That's a weird question. Stephanie says, wait a minute, y'all still on? We're saying good night now. Good night, everybody. Bye, y'all.